Those who have this is your first time watching anything with me, then welcome. And if you're watching this in the future, my name is Ashley. I support women to come into alignment with their soul gifts, with their divine mission, through awakening their power, through anchoring into their sovereignty, to rediscovering their soul gifts and their divine feminine wisdom codes within. I'm so passionate about this. It informs every aspect of my life as well. I live it, I breathe it, I embody the divine feminine wisdom codes, and I'm so grateful that I get to share this with you all. So I am a Holy Fire Reiki master, multidimensional ceremonialist, and a channel for divine feminine awakening. Okay. I don't know if you can hear me. I keep getting a little notification that it's slow. So I'm just going to flow with this and trust that hopefully it will connect in, it will tap in, and whatever is received is received. So your frequency is the foundation. Your frequency is the foundation upon which all of your life is built. Okay. As I was saying in the beginning, that this is, okay, great. Thank you, Anne. You sent me a private message. I'm so glad. I feel much better knowing that the sound's actually coming in for you all. Thank you. Okay. So your frequency, it's the foundation. And when we shift our frequency, then we actually get to change our life. But before we get into this conversation, I really want to communicate first that it doesn't always happen immediately. And this is really where we're shifting out of instant gratification and into the realm of more quantum energy, of miracles and magic. And also when we're in the frequency of really honoring our soul gifts, honoring our divine path, and really committed to our higher self and living in alignment with our divine mission, there's certain lessons we need to step through. There's certain thresholds we need to walk through. There's an uncovering of our desires, of what we really want. And when we're in this commitment to the divine and surrendering our will to the divine will, sometimes what we think we want, it's not meant to come to us in a certain way, in a specific way. There's going to be more magic to it. It's going to arrive at the perfect time. So even while we go through this conversation and you're tapping into this, knowing that you're going to shift your frequency, you're going to reclaim so much of your power by the end of this conversation. You're going to be looking at life completely differently, of how it is you want to take action from a place of authentic knowing instead of seeking approval. And when you really embody this and step forward with this knowing of self, that it's not that you might not instantly receive, experience what you were expecting, what you wanted. And I'm going to explain why this is and why this leads to this depletion of power, because it's not about doing something and expecting something in return. This is really where we get caught up in the energy of approval. We get caught up in this energy of approval when we take action with expectation. And so this is what we're tapping into, is shifting into taking action, shifting into taking action from a place of authentic alignment just because you desire to. And that is such a powerful frequency. The other part of us, the part that's in the energy of lack, the part of us that's in this energy of limitation, then believes that I need to get something. I need to make up for that. I need to receive something immediately in order for this to make sense. But this isn't in the realm of magic, of quantum potential, of what it is we're really tapping into with divine feminine wisdom. So we're going to dive in. I'm just so happy you're here with me. This conversation is so activating, and it's really been shifting how I've been living my life and how I take action. And I've been feeling so much more over the last few months, just profoundly alive. Like there's so much more joy in my body. There's so much more excitement and nourishment in everything I do, because it's not from a place of approval, of needing something in return. It's because of authentic and true desire. And it takes a lot of trust to live this way, but that takes time to develop that level of trust. Okay, so I really live life through this awareness of the authentic self. This is something that I've been working with and tuning in the authentic self for almost 5 years now, since since like 2019, really understanding who am I on a soul level and how is that emanation coming forward in this lifetime. So our authentic self is that part of our soul that is that truest part of our soul that is meant to be embodied in this lifetime. Now, if you're like me and live in the context that we have multiple lives, then you know that each life that you live, there's a different role that you play. There's a different mission that you have there. There's a different intention and reason why you chose to incarnate in that human body, in that human form, or and maybe it was on a different planet, so a different incarnation, a different body. But there's a reason, there's a meaning, there's a mission, and there's a part of your soul that expresses in that lifetime, and that is your authentic self. Now we have a part of ourselves that is the higher self. The higher self is that aspect of us that is always one with the divine. And again, this is my paradigm. This is how I see it, perceive it, tune into it. How does it resonate with you? But the higher self, when I use that word, I am speaking of the ascended aspect of us, that part of me that is already the master, that is already one with the divine. And so when we tune in, when we align our higher self with our authentic self, we bring in our highest aligned vibration, our divine wisdom codes, the beauty that we are into the archetypes, the expression of our authentic self, how it is we're meant to show up. This is how we reveal our gifts. This is how we reveal how we're meant to serve in this lifetime. This is how we reveal how the relationships in our life are actually serving us, even if they're challenging. So there's so much magic within the authentic self. This is the frequency that we get to live from. So in order to shift from living in the frequency of needing approval, which will deplete our power, it's shifting into the frequency of our authentic self. It's coming into deep knowing of who am I? What do I desire? And that is enough. That is enough that I get to just live from knowing who I am, expressing who I am, and cultivating my desires, cultivating the depths of what I love right now in my life. And so when I'm not living in alignment with my authentic self, I will notice, I will feel this sense of feeling disempowered, which leads to feeling frustrated, which leads to feeling very limited in my energy. I then will take action in my divine mission, like take action in my work, in my life, in relationships, not from this place of soul knowing, not from a place of like soul peace, that everything is in alignment, everything is working out for my highest good, but it's coming from a place of fear, comparison, and lack. Because when we're not living in alignment with our authentic self, then there's a frequency within us that isn't expressing from self. It's expressing because of what we think we need to do. It's expressing from the mind. It's expressing based off stories. It's expressing based off comparison. It's expressing based off how we think we're supposed to act, how we think we're supposed to engage with life. So it's all this imbalanced masculine energy, and it's action from the limited self, not action from the authentic, limitless self. And so this will lead us to seek approval in so many ways. So have you ever thought and so I will, when this does happen, anytime I notice that, am I taking action from fear? Am I taking action from comparison? Am I taking action from lack? And sometimes we're not aware of it. This is the beauty of this conversation, is starting to, I call it spiritually flagging, because once I start tuning into a spiritual truth in my body, I have this inner prayer, inner knowing to say, let me see that, bring it to the forefront, instead of shaming myself and guilting myself for seeing where I can grow. I say, thank you. I get to see where I need to grow, where I want to grow, because so much of these patterns are actually in the subconscious, and we don't even see when we're acting, when we're comparing, we're acting from fear, we're acting from lack. And so after this conversation, just even if you feel like that weight of like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this, instead of like having that guilt, that shame, that like weight on yourself, it's like, wow, I'm so grateful I see this. Because now that I see this, I get to change. I get to actually take action. I get to be in my power. Awareness is power. And so this is what you're doing, is tuning into the awareness of yourself. So have you ever thought in your mind space, in your mission, especially when you get into the energy of comparison, is if this person is succeeding, I should do it this way. I should do it the way they're doing it. Okay. In anything in life. Maybe this is like when you were younger, maybe it's happening now, whatever it is, especially when you have a soul mission and you are sharing your gifts and you see other people with similar gifts. It's like, if this person is succeeding this way, maybe I should be doing it that way. Okay. This is instantly going to drain your power. Okay. Because you're going to be taking action from that experience. You're going to be taking action from a place of comparison. And when that action doesn't give you the result you want, it's instantly going to deplete your power. You're only taking action to receive approval. And it's not approval based on your authentic joy and love. It's approval based on what you think you should be doing, based on what other people are doing. It's based off a limited paradigm. It's not based on your authentic frequency. Okay, have you ever thought, if I'm still here in this place that you think is lacking, anywhere you think you're lacking in your life, whether it be your finances, whether it be your relationship, whether it be your creativity, anywhere you believe you're lacking, if I'm still here, then I'm doing something wrong. Right? This energy is then going to propel you into movement oftentimes. This thought pattern is going to say, well, I'm doing something wrong, so what do I have to do that's right? This is going to propel you into action, but it's not coming from a place of authentic frequency. It's coming from a place of approval. Because if I'm doing something wrong, then I need to do something that's going to prove that I am on the right path, that I am doing something right, that I'm not lacking. And so it's taking action based on seeking something in return, based on seeking approval, seeking proof. And this will always deplete our power. And so it really shows up in the subtlest ways that we are taking action because of approval. And I love this word approval because there's so much depth to it. It's really about proof. Am I proving to someone or something else that this is working out, this is in alignment, I'm okay, I'm worthy, I'm enough, whatever it is. This is approval. And it really shows up in such subtle ways in our life. So the root of all imbalances with these thoughts is that they stem from the mind, not your authentic self, not your authentic frequency. So it's really just when you're starting to get super caught up in the conversation of the lack in your mind, instead of coming into your body, instead of coming into the depths of your womb and your heart and your solar and feeling within you your divine creativity and to create just because you want to create. I'm going to piece this together in just a moment. It's the next question is, how do I shift this? And how do I not shift into that space of acting out of approval? Because it really does show up in really subtle ways. So through this conversation, I want to guide you on a journey of coming into much greater alignment in your life. And alignment with your life in the understanding of what does that mean to you? What does it mean to live to you? And only you can answer that from understanding your authentic self, that true authenticity, what you desire to create. And it's about attuning to your frequency first. And so anytime you get into the mind and you start getting into that energy of comparison or fear or lack, judgment, or feeling like you're not enough, you're not where you should be, it's shifting into, okay, do I want to take action from this frequency now? Or can I take the space to actually tune into what it feels like to be in my creativity, to be in my joy, to be in that space where I just desire to create because I desire to create? If any of you have at first had that spark of creativity to do something. I remember this is like something that my mom shared with me. She loved to, I always think of this, she loved to cook, like loved it. And then she went to school at Johnson & Wales to be a chef. And at some point, the joy of the cooking, there was no joy in it anymore because there was so much pressure and expectation and not enough. It's like doing it just to do it instead of because of the raw desire and joy to do it. And so it turned into something that became doing it to prove, doing it to compete with others, especially if you know anything about like the cooking world. It's very competitive and very much about it's very masculine, having to be in, at least with that type of cooking, having to be in a specific, done at a specific time, high pressure, high anxiety, and it takes the fun out of it. It takes the initial joy and spark and creativity that you initially had. And so if we're going to be leading our divine missions, it is essential that we're actually leading it from a place of authenticity continuously. And this is for the long run. Your divine mission isn't something that that sparks up one day and then you have that one spark and then it just falls away and it goes away forever and you're done and it's faded out. Your divine mission is something that's meant to be cultivated over and over and over. But when we have that initial spark of what it is we want to do, how it is we want to create, the gifts we want to share, there's just this innocence, there's this purity, there's this joy, there's this inspiration and desire to share it because it's authentic. So you share it, it's magical, you get excited, and then you expect something. You expect more reaction. You expect people, everyone to love it. You expect people to understand it. You expect people to get it, to get you. You have these expectations around how it is it's meant to receive. And because it doesn't meet your expectation, it depletes your power. You start then doubting your mission and doubting your path and uncertain if it's the right way. You start comparing yourself to other people who are doing it, other people who are living in the same way that you're living. Other people have similar gifts to you. You just start comparing. And instead of taking action from your raw, authentic soul, desire, and passion, you're taking action based off the comparison, the lack mentality, and the not enoughness. So then you shift that raw, pure gem of light, of mission that you had initially, and it shifts into this lower frequency and lower vibration. And then your mission becomes something that you kind of dread. It's like, oh, I have to do this. I have to show up for this. I think I still like this. I know I'm good at it, but I don't really know if I really want to do this, because there's all these layers of not enough, of lack, of fear, and then the action you take is because you feel a sense of lack and comparison, not because you just want to act, just want to engage, just want to speak because you desire to, because you love to, because it's your mission, it's why you're here. And so this is what shifting into authentic frequency means. This is what allows you to actually let your soul lead your mission instead of your mind. Okay, so you don't need to, in this journey, it's not about being more than you are. Like, I just want to completely clear any pressure in our bodies of like, oh, I need to do more, figure out more, experience more. Yes, we can always learn, expand, grow, play. There's always more to uncover, but it's not about being more. It's not like you have to add more on to be in your authentic self. Like, you already are your authentic self and you get to discover her. That's the joy of it. And it's just frequency. And the first thing that you do is shifting out of the mind and really coming into the heart, into the body, into your desire, into your passion. I'm going to speak more about this in a moment. And so it lands and anchors in a little bit deeper of what it is I'm speaking here. So as I've shifted from taking action, or let's see, so you get to remember who you are. And as you remember this frequency of trust, which is who you are, trust, this frequency of joy, this frequency of love, abundance, and creativity, which is just innately who you are. When you don't have the disempowerment chords, those lower vibrational frequencies of uncertainty and doubt and fear, like weighing your energy body down, you have it's a lot easier to access the the flow of creativity, the flow of passion, the flow of desire and joy that is inherent in your life. No matter what you're experiencing, even in challenges, you can find value in it. You can find what things that you desire in your life, even while you have them, like even when you're in challenging moments. And give yourself permission to access this when you don't have the weight of comparison in your life and this energy of needing to prove yourself. So you're also then going to feel this deep sense of peace, because when you let go of needing to prove anything, when you let go of needing to prove who you are, that you're right, that you're the one, that other people understand you, that you made it, when you just let go of others and you do something because of the joy of doing it, there's so much peace. And you're not doing it with this energy cord because you expect something. You're doing something because you love to do it, because it fills you up. It's your why. Yes, there are things in our life that we do that it's like, we don't exactly love the action of it, but it's part of the bigger why. So those are our kind of like non-negotiables. It's part of the bigger why. But when we talk about their soul mission and really stepping into why you're here and leading your life, it's like, what is that for you? And maybe you're still uncovering that. Maybe you're still discovering that, but it will reveal itself to you in the frequency of authenticity. If you're still in the pattern of approval and needing to, in a place of comparing to yourself to other people, it's going to be even more challenging to actually become really clear on what your gifts are, on why you're here, because you're going to have all this extra chatter and extra noise on what you think you should be doing, how you think you should be showing up, what it means to be who you are and what you think you like to do. It's all this extra chatter instead of this real sense of, I love this. I love to do this. This is how I like to serve. This is how I like to engage with life. This is where I love to put my energy and time. This is what I want to create. It has nothing to do with what's around you. It has to do with you, your soul speaking through you. Those codes are within you. Okay, so this is really about living with frequency first, getting out of the mind and shifting into the frequency. So now I want to get a little bit deeper. We kind of like laid out the context of this. I hope you're seeing a little bit of maybe where you're doing this in your life, where it is you're still comparing and letting in this lack energy, where it is you're still kind of seeking for approval or taking action based on expecting something in return, expecting response, expecting validation, and instead shifting into getting curious. At this point in the conversation, I hope you're getting curious about what would that really feel like to just truly live from your authentic self, to be in that space of your authentic frequency and to take action from that place. Okay. So when we take action only with the expectation of a certain outcome, which I want you to just pause and think about just think about your life for a moment and where it is you're taking action for an expected outcome. It's like, if I do this, I'll get this. If I do this, this will happen. If I do this, I'll receive this. If I say this, this can possibly happen. If this happens, this person will do this. So it's taking action. The motivation for your action comes from an expectation, comes from an expected outcome. So what if instead your motivation and intention for everything you did was because you desired to do it? Just because you desired to do it. In order for that to actually take place, you would shift into such deep self-love. You would feel such a deep sense of, I am already whole. I am always provided for. I trust I am taken care of. And I don't need to do something just to get something. I get to live life because I desire to live life. And I get to receive everything I need, my needs, the money, the dreams, the visions, everything, just because I get to receive. The doing, the giving, the action channels are separate from the receiving channels. But because we have this idea of limitation, we have this idea of linear life, that I have to do this to get this, we limit ourselves immensely. And then we start manipulating our life based on trying to get something that we think we need, instead of letting all of that go and saying, I live because I desire to live. So I take action because I desire to take action here. I desire to create here. I desire to speak here. I desire to whatever it is. And I trust that that is enough, because it's my soul speaking forward. It's my soul leading me. And I will receive everything I need and more, because we're infinitely abundant and everything's coming. Everything is here. Okay. So when we are taking action only from expectation of certain outcomes, then we're living in this frequency of approval, because we're trying to prove to either ourselves or the world something. We're trying to prove something. It's like, give me that validation, or I need to prove that I can do this, that I'm going to receive this in return. I need to prove to this person that I can do this, or I can receive something from them. And we're inherently going to be depleting our power from that. So instead of taking action in life simply because we desire to, we live in the frequency, we shift out of the frequency of authenticity. Okay, when we actually choose to live life simply because we desire to, if we choose to actually just take action because we desire to, there's no depletion of power. There's no energy that is saying, well, if I don't receive this in return, then it's not worth it, that I'm not where I'm supposed to be, that I'm failing, that I'm not enough, that I can't possibly do this, I'm limited, I don't know something. Like it's constantly lack, especially when you're taking action with an expectation. If you don't receive it, you're going to feel lack, because this is a lack cycle. This isn't living in the field of magnetics. This isn't living in the field of quantum energy. This isn't living in the field of magic. When you're truly living in the field of magic, you're tapping into your desire. You live because you desire to live. So when we trust, so this other aspect of it is to really tap into this, is the ability to feel the sense of trust in life. And this is something that I work on so deeply in all of my mentorships. Everything that I work on in my own life, connection with my spiritual guides and my own spiritual practices, is these deep surrendering into trust. Because yes, the other end of it is, okay, but I also have, I want to provide. I want to provide for my family. I want to provide or create certain things in life, or experience certain things in life, or be able to take care of your health and nourishment. Like there is things that you actually need. You need physical support and physical things in your life. And it's like trusting that you can actually receive that, even while you're in a space of living just because you desire to live. But because we have so much control and lack mentality around our ability to receive and around the consciousness of abundance, because we feel like we need to control so much in order just to get by, we don't give ourselves permission to actually tap into the full expression of our desire, to actually experience the depth of what it means to live because we desire to live, to take action because we desire to take action, to speak because we desire to speak, to create because we desire to create, and that's it. And so it's like, well, I have all these needs, so in order to get that, I need to do this. And it's linear thinking, it's limitation, and it's limiting the potential for magic to touch our life, for abundance to flow into our life. Because we're really controlling the channels. If we tune into the truth that we give because we get to give, we receive because we get to receive, like these channels are separate channels, when we tune into that truth, there is infinite abilities to be able to receive. And you get to give just because you give, not because you have to, and not because you need to get something in return. You just give because you give, and you receive because you receive. That's it. But when we have that mentality that I need to give in order to receive, then of course we're going to be in an energy of lack, because then you're going to feel like there's only so much I can give. So I need to make sure I give here so that I get this. And I need to give in order to receive something that I feel like I'm lacking, which is love, which is worthiness, power. And I need to do this in order to receive that, instead of recognizing you get to receive it from within you. It's an abundant energy within you. So this is how we really deplete our power. So where in life right now are you taking action with primarily an expectation of something in return? Not because you desire to actually do that. So I just want you to take a moment to think, like, where in your life are you taking action primarily with the expectation of having something in return, not because you actually desire it? Like, as you've been going through this conversation, like, what has been popping up for you where you are doing this? And it's like having so much love for yourself while you witness this, because you get to see it. This is an opportunity to see this, to transform it, to shift and make changes in your life around this powerful energy right now. So oftentimes when you don't see the results you want, then you don't get the approval that you thought you needed. So you do something because you think you need something, you don't get it, and you feel like you're lacking again. You then feel more depleted, and you take more and more action, right? It's like, well, that didn't work, so now I need to take more action, and I need to take more action. That didn't work. And it's living in this constant cycle of lack and depletion. Okay. So the approval that sometimes we're seeking is like, could be in forms of validation. It could be in forms of money, and whatever you define as success as well. It's like, if that isn't showing up as proof for you, how you perceive it to be, or rather, this is something that you're desiring, and you expect that if you do a certain action, and this is the exact return you're going to get in it, and if that doesn't happen, that's where your power really depletes. And again, it's living based on approval instead of authenticity. Okay. And I'm not saying here you actually can have everything you desire. You can actually have more, like, you're infinitely abundant, and you're going to receive even more than what you can possibly conceive is possible for you in your life. This is the potential of magic, of divinity. But we have this very limited view that in order to get something, we have to do something. And this is seeking that approval. When it doesn't happen, we feel even more depleted and lack, and we continue to limit what is possible for us. Okay, so in order for this embodied shift to take place, it's essential not only to awaken the truth of this limitless potential within you, your soul truth of abundance, but also your inherent worthiness and intrinsic value. Like, this is some of the deeper work, like tuning into your authentic self is shifting into what does it mean, like how to really feel into that abundance of your life, how to tap into what your desires authentically are, how to awaken like your deep worthiness and intrinsic value, like the value that you already are, the worthiness that you already are, the enoughness that you already are. Okay. So it's tuning into all of this and then becoming crystal clear on recognizing these patterns of where it is you're seeking approval and validation. So just noticing, moving forward from this discussion, is where, when you're doing something, creating something, having a conversation, engaging with something, purchasing something, like, is it, notice where the threads of desire are, because oftentimes there is some desire there. There's usually some authenticity. It's like, oh, I do want this. But then there's some overlay of like expectation of some type of approval, expectation of some type of validation, expectation of some type of return. And what if you just played with letting that go? And what if you let that frequency go and created more space for the frequency of full embodied desire to replace it, to expand it, to increase? And that you do that because you desire to, because it's exactly what you want to do in the moment. It's so alive for you. You love it. It is what you want to do. It's what you want to engage with. And you trust so deeply that all your needs are going to be met, even more what you desire. Everything's going to be met. Those are happening through the channels of receiving. It's inevitable. But you give just because you give. You desire because you desire. You take action from that desire just because you desire. And you trust that everything else is coming, is here, is flowing into you because your receiving channels are open. Just play with that and having fun with it. So when you're acting and speaking, leading your divine mission, even when this subtlest power leak for approval, like proof or validation, you'll find that your mind will really be depleted. Your nervous system will be overworked. You're always trying to find the solution, the answer, make yourself better, fix the problem, when you're not a problem. You're not a problem at all. So it's really accessing that authentic desire and taking action from that space, and the energy system will feel so harmonized. There won't be this sense of overwhelm. There won't be this sense of drainage in your life, because you're going to feel so alive, because you create, because you desire to create. That's it. That is the desire. And you hold so deep within your soul this knowing that your receiving channels are open, so you get to receive just because you get to receive. Everything is coming to you and appearing to you in the most beautiful, highest aligned potential and way possible. Okay, so if you feel like, I'm already so far behind, I never get it right, that person is, that person out there is better or worse than me, we get into that energy of comparison, or I'm never going to figure it out, you're only looking at the limited view of your life. You're tapping into that frequency of approval, and it's really lowering your energy, and it's diminishing the fire of your authentic desire. And then you're going to be taking action from this place of, because I feel lacking, I need to take action in order to fill up, to feel whole, to receive something. Instead of just starting from the baseline, I am already whole. I am already complete. I already have everything I need and more. Everything is flowing to me. What I desires to be created through me. I take action because I desire. I desire to live life, so I live it from desire. This is the potency. This is the power we get to live. And I promise you, it is going to erupt so much joy in the way that you see life, in the way that you take action. It's going to shift the way that what actions you decide to take, how much you speak, what you say, when you give. You might actually find that you don't want to give your energy and time all the time. You actually want to give it more to yourself. You may find that you actually don't want to post on social media all the time or share parts of your life that doesn't feel authentic. You might actually find that you desire much different things in your life. You're going to uncover so much about your authentic self when you let go of this energy of thinking that you need to prove that you're going to receive. Prove to yourself, prove to something else that you're filling up from an external thing. Instead, it's recognizing just how powerful you are in this now moment, and that everything that is coming to you is coming. Everything that is here for you is here for you. And those are through your receiving channel, which is separate than your giving channel, your acting channel, your desire channel. Okay, so it's really trusting in the magic of divine timing, of quantum leaps. We aren't linear. We don't think we think in this linear action, which is what gets us in that limited energy. So we constantly feel depleted and let down. So this lowers our frequency. We shift into this energy of failure, limitation, and we really feel like we need evidence and proof that we're moving along, that things are okay, when really we don't need external validation for that. We can shift into the frequency right now that everything is okay, that we are one with the divine. This is divine consciousness erupting within us. This is divine truth erupting within us. This is the medicine of knowing ourselves within and not taking action from a place of lack, of needing something outside of us, instead taking action because we just desire to. So this conversation feels so important because I deeply hold the vision of myself and women and all of us leading our divine missions from a place of profound peace. There's enough room for all of us. There's more than enough room for all of us to share our voice, our gifts, our love, our heart, our truth. We're meant to. That's why we came here. We didn't come here to be quiet. We didn't come here to hide. You on a soul level said, I'm going to incarnate on earth right now because I have something important to do. And you didn't make it this far to then silence your voice, silence your energy, to diminish your power, to leak your energy. You did not make it this far. And so this is, to me, such an important conversation because I hold the vision of myself, of all of us, leading our divine missions from a place of peace and desire. Peace in our nervous system, peace in our mind, continuous creative energy in a way that feels good for us. Reaching who it is we're meant to reach, serving a way that we're meant to serve, living and doing all of that from a place of joy, like getting to have it all. Really getting to have all of it alive within us. So this is really, again, shifting it. In order to tap into this, it's, can I trust? Can I trust that I receive just because I'm worthy of receiving? I receive just because I'm worthy of receiving. And can you know that then you then can create just because you desire to create? And that you give just because you desire to give. It's not about doing for expectation of something that's an energy of lack, and that is seeking in some way approval, proof to yourself that you are enough, that everything's working out. Instead, you just come from the frequency, I am enough. Everything is working out. My authentic self is leading me. My soul is leading my divine mission. Now, what do I desire to do just because I desire to do it, because everything else is flowing here. So your soul-led mission, it will require you to trust very deeply in the unknown. This does take an immense amount of courage and faith, and tapping into your sovereignty, your power, understanding more of what it means to feel embodied in your soul and in your knowing, to trust in this void. Because oftentimes, yes, you will do something because you desire to do it, and maybe your life isn't reflecting that abundance that you're creating, or the desires that you're creating, or what if the visions you have, maybe it's not here right now, but doesn't mean it's not coming. But we get so caught up in that like instant gratification of something, and we have to be okay. We have to be able to transmute and be okay with the disappointment, because if we're living our life just for instant gratification, we can't channel the big things. We're not going to create the big things. The divine is going to say, okay, you're really upset when things don't come to you immediately. So I guess we can really only give you the things that like you can get instant gratification for. It's really limited. It's really limited of what you can create. Because if you're here to create a big mission, pieces need to come together. People need to form together. Divine ideas need to flow. Like, it can take time. It can take expansion, and also can happen in a second. There's just so much infinite potential. But we have to be able to hold the void and hold the unknown. So when you're really able to attune yourself to this frequency of authenticity, you stop needing to have all the answers. Instead of focusing on the mental energy of trying to figure out or needing to know, you're shifting into, I don't need to know all the answers. I'm shifting into my authentic self. You're spending your time and energy on focus on who am I? How am I returning to myself, my truth, my divine feminine power, the power within me, my magnetism, my desire, instead of thinking, how is this going to work out? Like, that's such a depleting thought pattern. And instead, it's like, am I aligned with myself? What do I desire? And can I trust here? And this will really guide you to stop seeking approval. You won't be seeking approval for proof that everything's working out, or to prove to anyone else about your life. You're fully in your power. You're really in your sovereign energy. And this is why this journey that is beginning right after the equinox that I'm offering is the Sovereign Priestess Activation Mentorship. And this journey of shifting, like having this full embodied frequency shift into your authentic self, and learning how to truly tap into your desires, live life from this authentic desires, and hold the void while doing that without shifting into, oh my gosh, I don't know if this is going to work out, the fear, the lack. Instead, like really holding your frequency, holding the frequency of your authenticity, and leading life through your desires. is the foundation of what we're working with in the Sovereign Priestess activation, which is a 6-month journey that flows from the equinox to the equinox. And a big piece of the desires is there's a lot of shame around it. Because desires are erupting very much within our womb space, there's, especially as women and our lineage and in the past and the divine feminine mysteries, there's been a lot of shame and guilt and disconnection from our sacred sexual energy and what it actually means to be embodied in our desires. And so this is why even when I speak of like you get to like live life because you desire to live life, sometimes that might even be like, well, what does that really mean? To feel so deeply connected to my desire and to trust fully in it. And through Sovereign Priestess, we're working with tapping into, like clearing any resistance to your authentic desires so that you can actually take action from your desire and trust it. And trust that's enough. Then we work with the divine feminine wisdom codes of what it means to tap into the void, the unknown, of what it means to expand into the greatest visions and possibilities that you actually have and be okay with not having all the answers while you're doing it. We work with tuning into the frequency of your truth, your sovereignty, your priestess lineage, and actually taking action from that place because you're developing such a deep sense of who you are, your empowerment, your self-worth. So you're going to be tapping into the seed of potential at your womb, the core of your authentic desires. And it's really, asking yourself, is this like, are you feeling that it is time for your soul to lead your divine mission, not your head? Is it time for the head is not meant to take action. It's not meant to make decisions. The mind helps us to contemplate, to deepen our understandings, to shift through the subconscious energies, to think about ourselves and life, but it's not meant to take action. Our soul leads us. Our soul guides us. And through Sovereign Priestess, it's about tapping so deep into that divine feminine wisdom and trusting in the feminine power to lead your life and to lead your divine mission and to understand so much clearly, what do I actually desire to create when I'm not caught so deeply in trying to receive approval or trying to prove something or doing something because I'm going to receive something, if instead I'm truly living from this deep, deep knowing that I get to live because I desire to live. And everything I need to receive and more is flowing to me just because I'm enough. Like, what would that feel like to really live from that? And through Sovereign Priestess, it's embodying these codes. This next round is going to be so powerful. I've been guiding this mentorship now with women for over 2 years, and it's such a magnificent journey. And this next one is next level with all the codes that are coming through. And so it's tapping into leading your mission when you're tuning in from this desire. It's leading it with joy and trust. So it's really time, if you're feeling it's time to do what you came here to do, if you feel, and when I say this, on a soul level, you chose to come here for some reason. Like you chose to come into this body on this earth for some reason. If you feel that in your body, in your heart, as a truth that you live by, then it's asking yourself if you're ready to do that, if you're really ready to do that mission, if you're really ready to step up into that. Because that's what the Sovereign Priestess is about, is holding that frequency of support, of doing what you came here to do, to really claim it, to make the shifts, the changes in your life that actually support you in that divine mission, to live your life from your authentic desire, even if that's challenging at times. So it's stepping out of your way, shifting out of the mind into your heart, working with the divine feminine energy, and leading your divine mission through your soul. So this journey, if you're interested, just send me a DM. I'll send you the link and more information about it. I'll put some information in the description of this video as well, but feel free to just send me a message right after this and I can send you a link with more information. You can read more about it. I can't see your comment, so I don't know if you're asking any questions. I'm just going to share a couple more logistical logistical pieces about this mentorship. If you feel complete with this call, thank you for being here. Just with such beautiful, potent energy. I love you. I will see you and feel you again. I'm going to shift into just sharing a couple more logistical pieces of the Sovereign Priestess Activation Mentorship. So this journey, again, it's a 6-month journey. We meet once a week, and it's 90 minutes of live connection a week. And then there's an entire online space to it where you're receiving spiritual activations, embodiment practices, and I offer PDFs along with everything. So it's a very embodied experience. It's an immersion. It's really like stepping into this mentorship, this deep study for yourself. And this journey will bring you through the 3, it's very much deepening into the 3 divine feminine centers. So we're stepping through the portal of the womb, through the portal of the heart, and through the portal of the third eye. These 3 divine feminine centers is about awakening the codes of your feminine power, your priestess lineage. Again, priestess, why I use this word in Sovereign Priestess Activation is a priestess is one who serves the spiritual needs of the community. So it's about awakening within your life, within your soul, within your past lives, the gifts, the inner knowing, the depths of your wisdom of what it means to serve through the depths of your spirit, your energy, your high frequency, your love, your light, the vision that you have for harmony on earth. And so it's about bringing that energy forward into your mission. It's about awakening those codes that are already within you. So it's very much an empowerment journey. We work with divine feminine ascended master guides. You develop such a deep connection with different ascended masters. And then there's a whole piece as well on the divine masculine energy. And so it's working with the throat chakra to then, yes, have this deep connection of the divine feminine wisdom within you, and then know how to express it, bring it into the world. So you're going to understand more of your soul gifts. You're going to actually have much more. There's a very entire month on tangible connection and explanation of what it means to live your divine mission in this earth. And there's very high spiritual activations, ceremonial experiences, and priestess activations within this. So it's both a deep mentorship journey and a healing journey and a frequency attunement to your higher self and your authentic self. So if you have any questions, registration is going to close in 2 weeks. We're beginning a little bit past the equinox, just for the timing had to go a little bit later. So we're beginning in 2 weeks. So there's still a little bit of time to sign up, and I will send you, if you're interested, send me a DM. I'll send you the link. You can read about it, see if you feel like you're interested in it. There's just an application to fill out. Once you fill out the application, there's more information about the pricing and payment plans and all of that. And then if it feels good, you sign up, get you into the space. Again, this is a 6-month journey. It's so epic. And on that link I send you, there's so many testimonials of women who have gone through this journey as well. So if you're interested in learning more about what's inside from the woman's perspective. Well, thank you so much for being in this sacred space with me. I wish, if you were sending comments, I wish I was able to see them. Thank you for being patient with the sound and continuing on, even though I had to switch onto the phone. And I love you so much. And I'm sending you just so many blessings. I hope you can see the full moon, the blood moon, and just feeling the potency of this energy. And I hope that you start living because you desire to live. So powerful. All right. Mwah. So much love to you. Bye-bye.